Alright, today I'm replacing a wheel bearing on a 2001 Avalon. Gotta take off the brake caliper first and the rotor. One of my favorite tools is this pipe. Turns anything into a breaker bar, gives you a little bit more leverage if you so need. Yeah, didn't have enough room for that on this side, but so watch out for not stripping these things like I almost just did. Been doing some work to this thing. Replace the shocks and struts. That was fun. You get to a point where this just keeps spinning, you just gotta put a little pressure on it, pull it out. Otherwise you'll be sitting here for a day and a half trying to get this thing out. Typically you want to suspend this with a wire onto the coil. I'm too lazy for that, so I don't recommend doing that. Alright, take off the brake pads. Alright, now we gotta take off the mount, which I think either are 14s or 16 millimeter. 14. This is where you definitely want to have some leverage. These, I don't know if you can see where the bracket's held on here, right there, and then one underneath. Out. There we go. Alright, brackets out. And you take the rotor off. Usually I have a tough time with this depending on what's going on. So if it's time for a brake job or rotor change, I'll just bang on it. But the thing you have to be careful of is you have to adjust the emergency brake before you do that, because while it might be rusted on, you could damage these components, which I've done. So there's a little hole in the rotor. You go through, you find where it adjusts, which on this is underneath. There's a little spindle. Let's see. You see it through the hole from right behind here. It's right down here. It's just like a little it's got teeth on it. One way tighten it, one way loosens it. I forget which way. I usually just fool around with it until I get it. All right. Let's see if it's still 14-inch. Just need to get my other set. All right, try the 14-inch. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's 14-inch. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. So put my little makeshift breaker bar in this. So there's 4 bolts that hold this thing on. You gotta just try to loosen them up one at a time. There we go. That one's loosened. I'll show you. This goes against the car. The bolts are here, 4 places. Bottom too. Love the rust. It's New England. People who had it didn't take care of this car at all. All right. So. Loosen. Take them out one at a time. There's one bolt. You gotta keep the bolt. New ones don't come with them. So what you could do to the bolts when you take them out is run them with a wire brush, clean off that rust that's on it. Some people will use like a thread locker on it. I don't know. I don't know how long this car is going to last, so I don't worry about that stuff. I don't anticipate doing this again. The nice thing about these wheel bearings, looks like, is that they don't sit through the knuckle. They just bolt on. I've had a couple cars and vans, whatever, where they sit through the knuckle of the car or whatever it's called, and it is a bitch to get out. So I suggest getting at least a 3-pound hammer. That's my little Molnier, whatever you call it, Thor's hammer. 4-pound is nice, but the 3-pounder really can get into tight spaces and, you know, give you a little oomph that you're looking for. Yeah, this is actually coming right out, so this is nice. One, two. Look at my shoe. Alright, we got it out. Taking all the bolts off. This has a gear inside of it. I'm assuming because the ABS sensor, which is thrown on my car. Let's see if we can get a good look in here. There's the ABS sensor, and I think it determines the notches, determine if it's going the same speed or not. So actually, it doesn't look too bad. I thought there was going to be a lot of grease in here, a lot of muck, but there isn't. So take the new one out. You could just tell by the imprint on the actual hub, on the car itself, the way it goes. So you really can't get this back mixed up and put it in the wrong way. So do the same thing going in as out. Usually just kind of like a diamond, or you know, do a top one, do a bottom one. Don't tighten them all the way, so that way you know it's sitting right when you start making your final adjustments on it. Just gotta watch out for cross-threading too. Now I'll make it just a little bit more snug, so that way you can get the other ones lined up. I did have a torque wrench at one point, but I left it on the back of my van and drove off, and pretty sure it has a new owner by now. So my torque wrench is my elbow. But again, you know, people will tell you, just look at the recommendations for the car, for the torque specifications for this, which I would also recommend. This is only a guide. But, yeah, I usually do a lot of business over at Harbor Freight. They got a lot of stuff cheap. I should mention what was going on in my car to make me think that it was the wheel bearing. I was getting a humming sound, and with the help of my 8-year-old son, we determined it was coming from the driver's side of the vehicle. The other thing, like I mentioned, the ABS and VSC lights were off, they were lit on my dashboard. So again, it's like more of a sensor issue. On the other side of this car, I've had to replace the speed sensor, but I don't think it's just with the sound and the lights. That's what I think was going on. So now that I got them all snug and tightened, I'll use that pipe again. Tighten it up. Oh, yeah. I usually do the stuff by hand. I do have a impact wrench, but I found, especially on older cars, if you try to either loosen or tighten it with the torque wrench, the head will snap off. So usually just getting some nice good leverage in a pipe or a breaker bar, whatever, that does the trick. Make sure this thing doesn't fall off while we're driving. That would be good. Bad. Just like to go over them, like back and forth, kind of like in a star pattern, just to make sure it's fully flush, fully secure. Alright, now I want to do my water. 2, 3, 4. So that was that. Then just gotta put the rotor back on. Again, you wanna put this on, put this hole to match this hole. So if you need to make any brake adjustments, you can. Put the bracket on. Of course, I got a gravel road, so it's got some dirt in it. Take that on. So I might even re-grease it. So I'll do that, and that's basically what's going on. That's how you do it. Yep. Bye.